Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where I was greeted upon loading up the game with this wonderful view again. I love it. Let's just soak that in for a moment. Just how terrible that intersection is. Good enough? You've had enough? Okay, me too. So I do want to actually do something about this. At this point, it's gotta be done. So what I'm going to do here is potentially, I'm thinking about bringing in with the curve tool something out over here. This is still going to be a disgusting intersection, but it's less disgusting. Okay, so something along the lines of that should be reasonably fine. Now, it looks like we did not actually do the on-off ramps over here. I don't know how we missed that, but we can definitely get those done. So let's just hop down over here for now, and we are going to hop into curve tool, and that's fine. Sure, that'll do. Nice and lopsided, just the way we like it. Not, but, you know, whatever. And then an off-ramp here, and an on-ramp about here. Okay, so that'll do fine. No left-hand turns allowed. And that should be this entire area good to go at this point. Yes, that looks good. We are going to need to extend this section of highway northward. Do we want to do that right now is the question that needs to be asked. I don't know if we do, to be honest. I mean, we're going to need to bring this up in angle snap only mode, and that's going to need to end up connecting in up over here. It's going to be almost entirely in the water there. Indeed. Okay, let's try bringing it up like this and having it come out potentially from over here. But I think what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to do like we did before and make this be a little bit less deep over here, which is fine. Let's bring this brush strength up to 100%. Okay, and we're just going to make this whole area be this height, because it's much easier to build with. And honestly, I think the game will probably handle it a little bit better. Okay, so something about like that will do. Cool. Now we can extend this highway out, in theory. And that's, of course, slope too steep. But we need this to come out up over here, right? So in theory, what this ends up meaning is right about here, or so, is where that's going to go. So if we can look at it from this angle here, we can see about here or so, but we can't actually select this section of highway. That's very awkward. What would happen if we just tried to slap a roundabout right here? That might make things a bit better, but we should also take this forward. We know that that changes things a little bit. Okay, I want to bring this down to 10 meters and extend out from here. This is much better, no doubt about that. So let's turn on angle snap mode. Okay, so this is going to have to go away. This is in obviously the wrong place. But now we can definitely build this. So that looks good. So this is going to come in somewhere around, yeah, right here, actually. Hang on, we're in curve mode. Okay, so that's going to end up coming in up over here. Let's make this snap only to the angle. Yep, right about there. Cool. That'll do for now. Now, this right over here is going to be potentially problematic, but I actually think it's fine. It's right on the shoreline there, so I think it's okay. So let's put in our roundabout right here. That gives us slope too steep on this side, which is fine. We can put in the roundabout and then bring this guy right back in. Fantastic. So that's this area complete-ish. Complete-ish. At this point, I want to zone up some of this. So we're going to want like medium density row housing out over this direction. So I'm just going to toss that in up over here. This is apparently low density housing here. Okay, that's fine. We'll make this be low density housing. So this entire meta block over here can be low-density housing. We did not manage to grab that area. Okay, that's fine. We'll just take this over to about here, and then about here will do. This whole area over here can be low-density housing, and I think we'll make it... Hang on. That was not where I wanted to grab. There we go. I think we'll make all of that be low-density housing, just like that. Then up over here, I want one of these meta blocks to be row housing, but we're not going to need more than that. So we're going to take this down to about here, and then up to about here. Cool. That'll do for now. So we'll tick forward like this, and we'll just start filling in that area. That all looks reasonable for the moment. So up over here, I'm wondering how quickly is this actually developing? Not hugely quickly. However, we do see that we've gotten the thriving metropolis at this point, so we can definitely grab... What was it that we wanted to grab? I think we wanted to go up to, like, subways. So we can grab tram and subway if we want to start working on a mass transit system. That is a pretty big deal to be able to do. We can also do a city hall. Lowers loan interest rates, as well as the price of imported goods. We probably are importing some goods. We don't have any loans, and I haven't seen any reason to get loans in this game thus far. It's very generous with the amount of money it gives you. We could grab the Large Hadron Collider. I imagine that's very large indeed. That's supposed to be like kilometers in size. So we'll see how that ends up going. Everything up here we already have. So I think we are going to grab the Large Hadron Collider for right now. And then from there, we can grab... Well, we can't actually afford anything else, but that'll do for now. We have a few more unlocks to do here for sure, but we're definitely working our way through this nicely. Okay, so how are we doing for demand? Well, there's a little bit of commercial demand. We could definitely do some commercial zoning out over this way. Like, we could have this be zoned as high-density business right here, and that might solve the commercial demand on its own. We'll see. There's a little bit of industrial demand as well. Where would we want to put additional industry? Up here would be the answer. So something about, like, that. We'll probably solve the industry for now. Yep, that looks good. And, of course, we can hop into police and administration, and we can put in our... We already have a welfare office, but we can put our city hall in the pollution zone. What could possibly go wrong with that? Up over here would be blocking the highway here. Could we cram it in here? Yes, if we removed these power lines. I'm wondering if maybe we'd be better off, though, to remove, like, this section of road and put it in up over here. So the administrative building would end up going, like, here, right? But that's also power lines. So that's going to have to be dealt with if we want to put it there. Maybe we don't put it there. What does the City Hall actually produce in terms of noise and pollution? Probably a little bit of noise. Go away, please. Actually, just kind of nothing. So it doesn't really matter where we put it then. We could put it up over here, blocking, like, this section of street. There we go. We'll just put in a city hall there. That'll be fine for now. And we could also try to build the Large Hadron Collider. How huge is that? Actually, that's not as big as I thought it would be. Okay. Fascinating. So, I mean, it is pretty big. No doubt about that. But it's not as big as I thought it would be. Where would we want to put this thing? I mean, we've got power lines kind of all over. It's almost the size of a meta block. Maybe we just don't want to put it in right now. We're losing money at the moment, so we probably want to just grow our city for a little bit. That's probably for the best. I don't think we want to put in a subway system just yet. We need to figure out exactly what a subway system with this setup would look like. How big would be a subway station? So that's the subway yard there. That's an overground subway station. This would be an underground subway station. We need a subway yard to build it. Okay, so how big would a subway yard be? Pretty big, no doubt about that. And the subways would all come out from there. Okay, noted. We would have to have a dedicated spot for it. I kind of just want to put one in somewhere for now so that we can build underground subway stations and see how big those are. Because that's going to affect how exactly we end up doing this, right? So we could put this into a temporary position. Which none of these would actually work at. A temporary position here might almost work. But a temporary position out here would work. We obviously don't want to keep this subway yard here. But I wanted to build it specifically so that we could take a look at these underground subway stations, because we couldn't build that before. Okay, so these are reasonably small. Noted. What if we put one into the center of every meta block? Or two, where we'd have like one horizontal and one vertical? I'm not sure exactly how that would work. Like the horizontal one could be here and the vertical one could be here or something. We'll have to think about that. I don't want to actually put this in just yet though. I just wanted to take a look at that. So there we go. We'll definitely put in a subway system eventually. But that was not exactly where we wanted it to go. I just wanted to build that to unlock these buildings. Okay, so that's fine for right now. Let's tick forward at highest speed. Our education system is amazing. Okay, cool. I'm glad they like it. So we're continuing to develop this area over here. There is some commercial demand building up. So we could think about extending this highway up and developing like this area. Potentially. There is demand creeping up for commercial. That said, this dense commercial over here isn't really being utilized. So what we might want to do is rezone this to be low density business, and then zone this area over here to be low density. And then this up over here can all be zoned, for now, low density business. And that'll be like a temporary solution without having to do a big development up over here. Although that's almost certainly going to happen eventually. How are we doing on our unlocks here? So I don't think we need to unlock any tiles down this way. I think that unlocking like these tiles up over here is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. How many would that be? That would be 39 permits. So that would be basically unlocking... Actually, we probably can't even build up here. So what if we did not include any of these out over here? And it's something kind of like that. Maybe not even these. Okay. And then we don't include any of this out this way either. This would be fine. This would be fine. We could go for something like that. And then bring that all the way down over here. Now, this is very expensive in terms of, like, cost, right? Obviously, we can't afford that, but I'm just seeing what this is going to end up looking like if we were to grab, say, all of this. Something kind of like that. Maybe that as well. That would be 188 permits. So that would be basically what we'd be looking at getting. Now, we're not going to actually get any of that right now. I'm just wondering what that would end up looking like. So that's absolutely fine for the moment. No problem whatsoever there. can't seem to get anywhere in this city without running into a traffic jam. There are a few of those, but are there right now? Here. That doesn't really look like a traffic jam to me. People seem to be moving pretty well. It's a little high traffic, sure, but that does not appear to be a traffic jam to me. Yeah, it's fine. No problem there. Any other traffic jams going on here? As of right now, I would say the answer to that is no. So there's definitely still a lack of labor going on out over here. We clearly still need additional residential, and that's fine. So this area is zoned row housing. I'm going to zone the rest of this as low-density housing. So we're just going to do something kind of like that. And then this area out over here, something kind of like that. This will go down to about here. Although there are some areas here that are zoned that are obviously not intended to be developed. Okay, let's get rid of those. Beautiful. Nobody gets riverfront property. Okay. And then we're going to do something about like this. And just zone this area over here. Okay. Looks good. So this entire area is zoned. We are eventually going to need more residential. We need all of the residential in the world. We have this row housing here zoned, and there's a little bit of demand, but nobody's actually developing it. Okay. For now, that's reasonably fine. We do need to get our finances turned around. Our current trend is 18,000 per hour. It's not great. We could think about bumping up our taxes, potentially. Our tax rate is 4% right now. So what if we just bumped this up to 5%? Yeah, we just keep this all at 5% for the moment. That will put our trend up significantly more, and we'll just wait for additional population to come in. We're seeing 529 people per hour moving in for right now. And that's fine. We clearly need more people. It's weird that our demand for commercial is going up at such a rate that we're basically maintaining our level of demand for labor. That's kind of strange to me. Okay, we see a traffic jam popping up down over here.
This has been a local public service.
This isn't necessarily super shocking.
My keys. What?
Yeah, this is not necessarily super shocking. I'm checking these others over here. Yeah, this is the same one that we've had issues at before. So this is basically people coming down here and entering the city all in this intersection. They have other options, and some people are entering the city in other ways, but it's not as good as it could be. No doubt about that.
Thank you for listening.
We could simply remove the Hemlock Highway. I don't think that's a good option, but it is an option.
That's right, Glenda.
And yeah, they're just immediately turning around here, which is definitely not ideal. We can run this highway over this way, and I would want to do this in angle snap only mode. And that highway would eventually run out over here, right? And where is our angle snap at? That's the angle snap there. So we're running directly into this wind turbine here. And we're going to just relocate that ever so slightly. And then we're going to need to run this power line through eventually. But for now, I'm just going to bring this guy in angle snap only mode. And that is giving overlapping items due to this power line. Okay, fair enough. So the power line is going to get moved back a bit for now.
In the city.
Road maintenance
Okay, and we're just going to bring this in. That is not 180 degrees. That might be.
You might want to wait a little while until everything
Okay,
clears up.
we'll call that okay for now. And we'll toss in a roundabout over here. So what I'm hoping here, and obviously we're going to have to do some work here. This is a temporary situation. What I'm hoping to have happen is that people come over here And of course, we'll need to connect this highway up. That's not going to be very helpful if we don't have that connected up. Okay, so that will hopefully relieve some pressure out over here. That's the idea. Now, we do need to run this power line up over here. So how can we get the power line underneath here? Will we have to go over the highway? We may have to go over the highway. We can't go over the highway, because the power line decided to go deep underground. And this one's just floating. Oh, okay. Well, that's problematic. Dumb idea. We take a road underneath. We connect the power line from here to like here, right? So this would connect in theory, over here. That's giving overlapping items. Oh, it's because it's too high. Right. We connect this in like that. Then we connect this in like that. It's really janky, but it does work. So that connects us back up to the grid, and that's reasonably okay for now. That is definitely dumb and definitely janky. So this traffic jam is continuing here. And I think, honestly, most of this problem comes down to the fact that we can't control these lanes. These lanes can go both directions, but they're not implemented like that. They're implemented as left only, right only, and both can go straight. But that's not actually where the lanes go, which is why these are causing problems. The lanes actually allow you to go any direction you want to. You can be in either lane and take any exit here. But we can't control that. So, unfortunately, the AI is just going to continue doing this. But you can see that the traffic is mostly slowed down coming over this way. I'm wondering if it is starting to come this direction yet or not. Currently, that's a negative. I'm not seeing any traffic out over here. We'll see if they start pathfinding their way on. What do we got going on with this traffic circle here? He's going south? Okay. The option exists for them to go deeper into the city by taking this highway as a straight shot over to here, and then going down and properly entering the city here. That does exist as an option. And we're seeing this guy be our first user of the new highway as an exit from the city. Okay, fair enough. But we've not seen anyone entering the city in this way just yet. That said, the traffic on this highway has reduced, and I do expect them to eventually make their way through this roundabout. Mostly, they're trying to come down here and go right. So these are the kinds of people who would be very likely to want to take this highway, I would think. Ah, are you doing it? Yes. This sedan is. Fantastic. So that pathfinding is beginning to work relatively nicely. That'll add in another decent way to enter the city. And this is probably going to need to be reworked as we develop this area, but that is to be expected. We could also move this up, but I kind of want this to just be a straight shot for right now with no additional roundabouts. For the moment, that'll be okay. No major issue there. How are we doing on our development out over here? We've still not gotten... Oh, look at that. We have a little bit of dense residential demand. I mean, we've got these dense residential areas, and nobody's building in them, so I'm not too concerned about it for right now. This'll be fine. Okay, how much traffic is being diverted onto the Spruce Highway? Actually, a reasonable amount at this point. A fair amount of people are taking that option, and that's great. So this should be improving down over here. This entrance into the city is pretty overloaded right now, but we're not seeing very much traffic coming down here. Most of the traffic is now taking the Spruce Highway, which is ideal. They're pretty spread out because that's a very long distance. And we shouldn't run into significant issues here. Mostly because there's not a way out over here or a way in over here. This is a much more restricted highway, and there's absolutely no reason for them to go to the north. So honestly, there's kind of no reason to have this be a roundabout right now. Yeah. For the moment, that will likely change. But for right now, I think that this will be better. And in fact, it's probably even better if we just take that out of there. And we'll just get rid of this. So the highway just bends. That's even better. So for the time being, that'll do for now. That should relieve a fair amount of the pressure on this roundabout. And yeah, we can see this is definitely cleaning up. It does take a little while for it to get through the backlog, but it'll be done with that very, very shortly. So that looks good. No major problem at all here. We'll see these guys all move on within the next little bit. Okay, that car just stopped and then despawned. But whatever. Cool. Only a couple more vehicles to move through, and the backlog is gone. Fantastic. So up over here, there's a lot of traffic utilizing the Spruce Highway. This roundabout is potentially causing some issues here. This has that single lane here. Honestly, we're probably better off, given what we know about the pathfinding, to do that. It'll take them a little bit to figure out what's going on here, but that's okay. I mean, I don't know that this is better. This is uncontrolled at the moment. This would be arguably a good place for a stoplight, but I don't like stoplights. With the lane crossing, I don't think this is better. I think we are better off having the roundabout here. So we'll just slap that in there, and we'll let them figure out where they're going. They'll get there eventually. So that seems reasonably fine. We'll need them to pathfind their way back onto the road, but there we go. Now they're going to start moving again. Cool. So that looks reasonably good. It is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we'll keep an eye on this situation up over here. We're also going to probably want to start developing some of this area. Unfortunately for us, that's in the pollution zone, so maybe we'll develop this area instead. We'll see. You can leave your offerings to the... Ooh, what's going on over here? We'll investigate that next episode as well. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.